Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Hannah. Today I'm going to be giving you guys my August reading wrap up and my September TBR. I'm going to do a generator. I'm going to pick about 4 books. These are the books that are going to be in the generator. So I will choose 4 of these books via random generator. Before I do that, I want to share with you everything I read in August, and this will not be in order, and I will be referring to a notebook because I write everything down. It just helps me retain stuff better. So let's just get right into it. I read some physical books. I read some Kindle books. I did not read any audiobooks. I'm not an audiobook person. It just isn't my thing. The first one, Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh. I annotated this. I tabbed it up. I highlighted it. I took so long to read this book. It took me about a month-ish to get this done. It's like 600 pages. The print is like somewhat small. I also wanted to take my time with this because this is a very multi-layered book with a lot of elements to it. There is our main characters, Johnny and Shannon. They're in high school. Shannon's a little bit younger than Johnny, and Shannon comes from a really rough life at home. That's all I want to say. I'm going to try and not spoil anything. Shannon comes from a really effed up home. Johnny comes from a pretty healthy, rich, well-off home. And so they already have a little bit of a difference there. I mean, it's a huge difference, very different social statuses. And Shannon is the new girl at Johnny's school, and Johnny is a rugby player. The whole book is based on rugby, and he is pretty famous for it. He just sort of takes care of little Shannon, and he pretty much loves her without really realizing it immediately. And then, you know, throughout the book, we start to see them really just form this beautiful relationship. Johnny wants to take care of Shannon. He wants to protect her from bullies, from life at home, from just everything. And Shannon is learning her self-worth. She's learning how to speak up for herself, how to defend herself. I had a really good time reading it. I can't wait to read the second book, which I think is going to be Johnny and Shannon again. I really want to read Joey and Effie's story. Joey is Shannon's brother. I really loved what they did for Johnny and Shannon in this book. I have to read them slow, and I have to take my time with them, and I want to annotate all of them. There were just so many sweet things that were said in this book, but at the same time, there was so many heartbreaking moments, and I highlighted all of it. So that is Binding 13. I did give this 5. Actually, I gave it 4.5 stars, I think. I don't really remember my ratings for a lot of these, but I do have my Fable linked in the description, so you can check out exactly what I rated things. I read The God of the Woods. This book was not what I expected. I was going into it hoping and thinking it was more of a horror, whereas it was mostly mystery, murder mystery thriller kind of vibes. It was really nostalgic to read, though. It gave such good murder mystery at a summer camp vibe, and I did enjoy that part of the book. We have a bunch of different POVs, and we also jump from past to present, so it gets a little confusing, and it did drag out at times, but I really liked the storyline. I did not predict the ending, so I appreciated that. And I just enjoyed it for what it was. I do think it's a little bit forgettable. I did read this at the beginning of August. If I hadn't wrote notes on it, I would have already kind of forgot what I read. So it didn't stick with me personally. I do think that it is worth reading, and I do remember enjoying it overall. So the next book that I read is This Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. That title is crazy. This was so good. I remember giving this almost 5 stars, I think. So this is about a witch. She grew up in isolation because she was taught that being around other witches, living with them, being friends with them is really bad for magic. It creates chaotic magic in a sense. And she's just very lonely, and she doesn't have any roots. So she gets offered this opportunity to help these 3 young witches learn how to control their magic, and she finally finds where she fits. And so it was really fun reading the magical elements to this book. I had a lot of fun reading the spells and hearing like what the kids were up to as far as the chaos that they were causing with their magic. There was a few plot twists that I did not see coming, which was really unexpected, and I really enjoyed that. I Thought it dragged a little bit, but honestly, most romances that are more than like 250-ish pages, to me, they typically do drag out. So I can't really knock the book for that. It didn't feel as dragged out as other books that I have read, so I was fine with it. The character growth, the found family, the romance. This is a closed door romance. It does kind of hint at some spice, but nothing that you will read about. I just loved this book. I had so much fun, and I want to read the second one, even though I heard that it's not that good. Then I read on my Kindle The Orc and the Innkeeper, a cozy fantasy mystery. It was marketed to me as being very similar to The Spell Shop, which was a 5-star for me. Amazing. So I read it, and it was not that good. I thought that it was kind of lacking something. It didn't feel as magical to me as I wanted it to feel. I felt like the world building could have used some work. The characters could have used some work. I just didn't find myself caring about the characters. I didn't care about their romance. And so for me, that kind of took me out of the story quite a bit. I just, again, didn't find myself really caring about these characters. So for me, that knocked the book way down on the rating. Also, it is a miscommunication trope. And I've learned that that's just not a trope that I'm a fan of. I find myself getting a little irritated by it. And I know that's a common thing. So if you don't like miscommunication trope, steer clear of this book. It was also enemies to lovers. He was her bully in high school. And we did see some of that. But overall, it just didn't feel genuine. It just didn't feel like that important because the author just didn't build up the characters enough for me to even care. Then I read a new release, Fall I Want. I'll put the picture up, of course. This book was so precious. I really enjoyed the character growth in this book. It's about a woman who works at a cafe in this really cute, quaint, cozy town. And this billionaire who's on hiatus from working for a little bit comes to the town where his mother built this house and left him this giant mansion. The town thinks the mansion's haunted, but little do they know, like, his mom built this house before she passed away and left the home to him. So he's there visiting. They end up meeting at the cafe, and it's pretty insta-love, insta-lust at least. I loved a lot of the things that he would say to the female main character. My partner in my real life says some of those things, so reading it in the book, it kind of just like made me feel good. I don't know, it made me be able to relate to the characters a lot more too, and I could really feel their chemistry through the pages. It was just very well written. Going into it, I was just like, okay, we'll see. Then it turns out it was awesome, and I loved it, and I gave it almost 5 stars. Actually, I did give it 5 stars. I read another cozy mystery on my Kindle, A Whole Latte Trouble. This was a really short, like 150-paged cozy mystery about a town who hosts this fall festival every year. It really gave Gilmore Girls with pumpkin spice latte, but make it really short, sweet, and kind of to the point. I loved the description of everything in the book, like the town, the fall flavors, like the lattes, the leaves, the scents, just everything. It was described so well, and it really painted the picture in my head. Was it the most exhilarating, thrilling, most exciting thing I've ever read? Absolutely not. No, it was just a cute, small town, cozy fall mystery, and I took it for what it was, and I enjoyed it. Then the last book that I read was this guy, Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. I did annotate some of it. I didn't finish annotating it because I did not finish this book. I did give it a rating though because I read almost all of it. I actually did finish it, but I skimmed it. A couple pages I sort of just went like, you know what I mean? This book was really cute at first. Definitely Gilmore Girls in a book. I enjoyed that. It was nostalgic for me because I did watch Gilmore Girls when I was younger, but it was sort of pointless. And here's the thing. The book isn't meant to have much plot, really just to give that Gilmore Girls experience to readers. And it did do that. So it served its purpose. It just felt sort of slow and boring about halfway through. I didn't really understand what was even happening, really, like, because nothing was happening. that kind of made it like leave a sour taste in my mouth a little bit. And so for that reason, I did not give it as high of a rating, because I just didn't like how it was dragged out, and I didn't like how there was a lot of repetitive things happening instead of like new things being introduced to the story. I think I gave it what? Oh, I don't think I rated it in my notes, but I might have rated it on Fable. I'm not very organized, I'll have you know, okay? I'm pretty type B. Welcome to my channel. Is she asleep? This is my feline baby, and I love her so, so much. Her name is Penelope, and she's my reading buddy and my co-host. Let's do the generator. I'll be back. I gotta plug all these books into it first, and then we'll spin. So this is just an overview of what is on my TBR and what I put in the prompt generator. The only thing I didn't add was The Cursed, because that is the second book. So if I get The Coven, then I'll read The Cursed after that. But that is the chosen TBR for the prompt generator. I created the prompt generator. I have to wear my glasses for this, so sorry about that reflection. Now I'm going to spin, and we're gonna pick 4, and then the rest of the books that are on this TBR are just gonna be there for me to mood read. I didn't really want this one. The first book I got is The Haunting of Alejandra by V. Castro. This one. This is a horror book about a woman who is haunted by the Mexican folklore demon La Lorna. And I did watch that movie on Netflix, and I loved it. I thought it was pretty scary. So for that reason, I purchased the book. But the other day, I read the first like few pages, if that, and it wasn't really grabbing me, but it takes more than a few pages, I guess. So anyway, that's the first book that the spinner chose. Let's spin again. Ooh, this one I wanted. Yes. Fellowship of Bakers and Magic. Yay, by Jay Penner. So this is the first book in this series. This is a cozy fantasy. It's about magic. I don't really know what else it's about. I'm going in blind. But I do know that at the back of the book, there are recipes. So I wanted to vlog myself reading this, and then I wanted to make some of, actually probably all of the recipes that are in the book. So I may end up vlogging these books, since this one I had plans for. Spinning again. Morbidly Yours. This is a little contemporary romance by Ivy Fairbanks. He has to marry by his 35th birthday, and she is sworn off of love. I'm gonna go in blind. This should be pretty quick to read. Actually, it's longer than it looks. It's 330 pages, and the writing isn't that big, but it's okay. This has been on my TBR for like a year now, so it's probably good that I selected that. Let's do just one more. You know what? We'll do 2 more for shits and giggles, okay? Because I just can't help myself. Oh my gosh. I lied. We're only doing 1 more because this one is chunky. Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. Yeah, I'm not choosing another one because this book is going to take me probably quite a while. This is perfect for spooky season. It's kind of a horror, dark romantic-y type of thing. I've heard that people really love this book. I think that I will as well. So I'm really excited that I chose this. And I do have the second one, Enchantra, ready to go whenever, you know, I get through this one. Those are the 4 books that the TBR prompter has chosen for me. I am probably gonna vlog reading these because both Phantasma and A Fellowship of Bakers and Magic are books that I planned on vlogging anyway. And with that being said, we're done here, guys. Thanks for watching the whole thing if you did. Appreciate you. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.